And
We
we're
are live. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your Big Brothers special episode, Thirsty Thursdays, our new show. You got myself, Glenn Lawrence, and then you have the one and only, the Hudsman, the supreme dating coach of the world, um, or just in Philadelphia. Oh, we'll just go with
just
the world.
here. The
We'll just
pretty
go with the
boy.
world. World renowned, internationally known dating coach. How about that? And today we got a special episode. Today we are talking about Halloween. Ladies, why are you dressed like hoes on Halloween? You know, but to answer this question, we brought the ladies. So let's start in bringing them up. Huds,
You
bring up
got
number
it.
one.
We got the very, very beautiful Coco. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Coco. I have a YouTube channel that I am starting, but other than that, I know Mr. Glenn Lawrence.
Now, how do you know Mr. Glenn Lawrence?
Well, Mr. Glenn Lawrence happens to be my fiance.
That's right, those tits are mine. Moving on, next we have
The very, very beautiful Lil Huds.
Lil
What
Huds.
up, everyone?
We got big Huds, big headed Huds, and then we got Lil Huds.
Did he just say you had a big head? You might have a big
Apparently.
head. What's up, everyone? I am the Hudsman's little sister, Little Huds, and I work for Expedia and don't have a YouTube channel. Maybe should. I think I'm funny. I don't know if a lot of people think I'm funny.
We're gonna find out tonight. We're gonna
find out.
All right, without further ado, ladies, let's get into the theme of the night. So you like Halloween, right, ladies? Do you guys like Halloween? Do you guys like trick-or-treating?
Oh yeah, give me some candy.
Okay, so when you were a kid, were you like dressed up like as a witch or a nun or like, I don't know. What was your guys' childhood Halloween costumes?
So I think the hoe phase of Halloween started when I was a belly dancer when I was like 9 years old.
So you started your hoe phase before you hit double digits.
I totally forgot about when you did that. I was
100%.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it was cold in Pennsylvania, so I had to have a t-shirt under it, but like I straight up had a belly dancer costume on. I don't know why my mom let me wear it, but hey, it was fun.
So you started your whole phase from an adolescence. Okay. Mm-hmm. Coco, what were you when you were growing up as a kid and dressed as Halloween? Were you boobs?
Well, no, believe it or not, until I hit puberty, I was really small. But my parents they're very, very conservative parents. So for Halloween, I was like cutesy things. Like I was Sleeping Beauty one year, and then I was a ballerina dancer. But then when I got older and started like freshman year in high school, I started to grow into myself. That I actually begged my mom to let me actually have something that wasn't childish. And that was my first time. And I dressed up as sexy Red Riding Hood. And then the next year I dressed up as the genie and from like the I Dream of Jeannie show. But honestly, that's like the most that I've actually really done as far as like being like dressing up like a hoe, I guess. Like,
so I'm curious then for both of you. What did your friends dress up as? Was everybody conservative for a certain amount of time, or?
You have like, are you talking when we were younger, or are you talking right now?
I'm talking when we were younger.
When you guys were kids.
When we were kiddos, I guess it was just like, like witches and stuff, ghosts, different characters. I don't know. That was about all my friends dressed up as.
And then at what point did you guys decide that you want to start dressing like sluts for Halloween?
I didn't necessarily want to dress like a slut. I just
you said you wanted to be sexy Red Riding Hood, so that's a sexy slut. So at what age did you
I was in
decide
high
that you
school.
wanted to be a slut for Halloween?
I was in high school, but like it still covered, like it had like a little white thing that goes right here, and then it was red all the way, and it just went above my knee. Like that was as whole as I could get buying my own.
Are
Like
you
having
just trying to point at your boobs? I'm trying to
Yeah, she was just
understand.
trying to insinuate her tits again. She's like, look at my
No.
tits.
no,
My
like
top alone says, look at my tits. But here, let me point out when I was a little girl, dressing like a little slut as Little Red Riding Hood, look at my tits when I do that. Just imagine them younger.
I'm not true. I still can be very, very conservative, and I choose to be because nobody wants a nip slip.
But like, okay, what is the reason? Like what makes you go from cutesy sleeping beauty and like a witch to dressing sexy for Halloween?
Yeah, like
what was the
what
thought
made that
process?
change?
The
Total
need for
rebellion.
attention.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess.
you can say it based as fuck, but
Mine was
is
the
that really it?
rebellion. Mine's rebellion. Like I said, my parents are very conservative people. Very, very conservative. I had to wear stockings under my dresses for God knows how long. Like
You
they're
still
very
do.
they're very conservative. For me, I was like, gosh, I even asked my parents all the time. I was like, can I get different clothes? And they're like, well, when you make your own money, you can buy whatever you want. Done. So like as soon as I got a job, like I started buying clothes that actually fit me and showed my shape, as opposed to wearing oshkosh bagosh overalls and dresses.
Hey, you know what? Just a pair of some oshkosh bagosh overalls and nothing else. That's kind of hot to me. Just saying. Just the little buckles covering the nipples. That
I am deceased. I'm pretty sure I just heard my roommates cracking up downstairs.
but like, no, seriously. So it was for the attention. So, ladies, you guys were dressing like hoes for Halloween for the attention. Now, my question is, let's say, I mean, you got a lot of attention, right? You're looking sexy, you're out there doing your thing. Why do women get upset about getting the attention that they get when they dress that way? Is it because it's not from the guy that they want the attention from? And if you're dressed a certain way, for unless you are in the privacy of your own home or with that person, you are dressing that way for everybody. So then why are you getting mad about the attention? Why would you get mad about the attention you receive from everybody? You know,
I don't think that they even said, I think that's kind of a leading question. I don't think they had ever said that they would be mad about the attention, because that's kind of where they're going with it, right?
Would you get mad at the attention from guys that you didn't like?
I think you get mad at the attention if it's like because girls go into a bar and they're like, okay, I want this, that, and the other guy. And then you have the creep in the corner that also is trying to give you attention because they think you're attractive. And then
like this.
The creepy guy in the corner just staring.
The creepy guy that you don't even see his eyes. You just know that he's staring at you.
Oh, yeah, that he's just staring at you. And then you feel uncomfortable. And then, I mean, for me personally, if I'm going out and I'm dressing slutty for Halloween, I know there's going to be random guys coming up to me and that kind of stuff. But there are some girls that feel like just because they're dressed like that, they shouldn't get the creepy guy's attention.
They should get the right guy. For whatever reason, they expect the right guy to come to them instead of the creepy guys.
You dress that way for a reason. You dress that way for attention. So you can't really control whose attention you're going to get and who is going to say something. If you dress away for attention, you're going to get attention. You may get it from people you don't want to get it from. And you got to, don't you think you just got to roll with the punches with that? Coco, I saw your hand up. You have something to say?
Yeah, so yes, I think that women also do that for attention, but not all of it is just for them to like be a hoe to get attention. Some of these women like maybe actually have to dress up depending on their job or something pretty conservative all day. And I think a lot of women, even though modern women now really are a bunch of hoes, but they try to play like, I'm not a hoe. So what they do is like Halloween gives them an excuse to actually dress how they want to dress without being judged. Because if they were to dress regularly like they do and flash themselves and flaunt themselves, people are going to look at her and be like, oh yeah, she's an Instagram hoe, or she's a hoe, or she's easy. But women are like, well, if it's Halloween, I'm not considered easy, right? Like, so it gives them an excuse to really be what they want to be. And some women, it's just because like that's the one year they get to dress up and be how I want to be, because I'm not like that regularly.
Okay, so be how you want to be, because you want to be a hoe. So, but your job is so conservative and you can't dress like a hoe. So on Halloween, you get to let your real you come out and not be judged. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what it sounds like.
Being a hoe, being sexy, like make it like they do want the attention. Absolutely. They want to actually feel like, because maybe they don't get a lot of attention them how they regularly dress, you know, because it makes them feel a little uncomfortable.
I think that's a good, I'm going to push back on that, call a bunch of bullshit, because I think a conservative woman that's beautiful, like yourself, if you were dressed conservatively, you would get just as much of attention, if you know, just as much attention you would if you were dressed like you were now.
No, let me push back on you.
I don't agree with that. Like,
no, hold on. Let me push back on you, Glenn. Do you want to fuck the sexy maid? Do you want to fuck the sexy maid when you come home from work?
Of course.
Right.
And I have.
Is she gonna wear a sexy maid outfit out in the streets?
Well, no.
Of course. It comes back to the lady in the streets freaking the sheets.
But what I'm saying is, when they dress that way outside of the home, in a public setting, like they're going to a bar or they're going out and they're dressed in this costume that is really revealing, why do they cringe when they get attention when it's not from a guy that they find attractive? And they kind of get defensive, like, oh, just because I'm dressed like this doesn't mean, I want
it's attention. Not an invitation.
Yeah, but it's like, well, in a way, you are advertising yourself a certain way, so you're going to get attention that you may not want from this individual, but you want the attention from someone else.
Or it could be because they're going too far with it. Some women may like the attention or like the compliments, but if a guy starts, she may even accept it. Like, I accept compliments from older dudes, like old grandpas. They're like, oh, you are so beautiful. You're very lovely. I'm like, oh, thank you. You have a good day. Like, it's nice to hear that, because women want that acknowledgement. We like to hear that. We like to know or feel that we're beautiful. But that doesn't necessarily mean when it goes too far, and maybe you're being nice to a guy that's not really your cup of tea, and he's like, hey, I love your costume, you look really sexy, and you're like, oh, thank you, and then you go drive back to your business, be like, but excuse me, like, I think that's where women are kind of like, ugh, did you not see me turn away? I'm not trying to give you my attention. I think that's the difference.
It's like the meme that says, when the guy is chasing you who bought you a drink and chasing you through the bar, yes, you can accept the compliment. Maybe it feels good. So, like, take my friend who works at a law office, for example. She dresses very conservative, but she wants to go out on Halloween and express herself in a sexy costume. And then she's got a guy chasing her around the bar that she didn't want attention from, just because he gave her a compliment and he thinks he's owed that.
But I think it's like, do you guys don't think that, like, it's like, nowadays it's like, let me dress as scantily clad as I can, and I get away with it because it's Halloween. You guys can't judge me. This is not how I really am, but really it's an expression of who they really want to be, but they can't because of their job or because they're concerned about how people will look at them or talk about them. If they dress very revealing regularly, then everybody will label them as a hoe. But if they dress like a hoe just one night, then they're like, well, I'm not a hoe. But really, they have some hoe tendencies because they want to be
the hoe for the right man.
Yeah, they want to be. Every woman wants to be the slut for the right man. Now, here's a question. Now, I think the way that it is today, women dress so provocative and advertising themselves sexually on a regular basis that if they were going to dress up for Halloween, then a nun outfit would be like suitable, or a ghost, like with a sheet all the way over them, would be suitable, or dress up like a pinup woman from the 1950s. That might be more suitable to be as a Halloween costume, because that's not how they really are, because they really are hoes during the rest of the year.
You're saying like opposite day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that you said there that made me think about, if you want to pick a couple's costume where it's reversed, a lot of times today's women want to be the cop and they want you as the prisoner. They want the reversal and they want the power.
Did you look at my Instagram post? Because I'm pretty sure I was a cop and my ex-boyfriend was a prisoner. So
Yeah, but I don't think that your pictures when I did this a few years ago were as badass as mine were. But
because I didn't put them on social media.
so then how would I see them?
I'm pretty sure I showed you.
Maybe. But that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of women tend to be more masculine nowadays. And when we do couples costumes and things like that, they choose that route. I don't know. It's just a side note I wanted to point out based on what you were saying, Glenn.
So here's a question. Why the sexy costumes? And like, do you guys like, are you in a sexy mood at that moment when you're wearing that costume? Like, let's say the right guy comes around, right? The guy that you want, and you're in the sexy outfit, you're feeling yourself. Are you more inclined, are women more inclined to hook up with them because they're already in the mood? Like they already feeling sexy. Now the right guy comes along, and now they're feeling themselves a little bit more. Are they more inclined to have a one-night stand in that setting?
I think yes.
Okay.
Because you're out, you're on an adventure. I don't know, as far as like me and my friends go, we're out on an adventure. We're like trying to find that right guy. We're having a fun weekend. And I think so. If you're feeling good about yourself, that means you want to go. At least I think you want to go and hook up with someone.
Yeah, because you dress that way for a reason. And if you're single and you dress that way for a reason, you're probably not going to turn down the attention from the guy that you would want if he escalated it to that point. So does the outfit kind of bring out a persona or a freakiness in you that you would normally be conservative in any other setting?
I think it's just confidence. Like you pick this cute outfit out. It's kind of like going out to a club with your friends. If you're like dressing up, you put time into this outfit, you know you look good in it, and it's all about the confidence. And that hopefully gets you the guy you're looking for, and then you're even more confident, and it just builds on that.
But I think the question is, are you more open to doing something with the guy?
Ladies, answer the question.
I think for most modern women today, absolutely. Like, definitely. Me personally, no. I don't care if I'm feeling sexy in an outfit. Even if I was single, I'm different and I'm old fashioned like that. I don't sleep with people unless I'm actually dating them. But everybody else that I know, and I have gone to plenty of parties and Halloween parties, and that's exactly what happens. The girls feel, because like, you know, your sister said, you have to feel, a woman has to feel confident in what she's wearing. If she doesn't feel confident, you could see that on her. Just like how you could tell when a guy isn't confident, because it's also the way he walks, it's body language. So a woman is confident. She's like, she is the BMOC, you know, she is that bag of chips. So she's like, oh yes, my shit don't stink. So that confidence is going to radiate. And if she's like, that's my mission, and she sees a guy that she likes, then yes, of course, if he's giving her that attention, there's obviously, when you're at a party, there's drinking and stuff involved. You know, so like people they're going to be more inclined to be like, hey, you want to go to my place and have some fun? Heck yeah. Like, so of course that's going to happen if she's feeling confident and feeling sexy and she gets the attention from the guy that she wants. More likely she is going to go home with him and then have a one night stand, and hopefully she doesn't poke holes in his condoms.
Has that happened to one of your friends?
Like the poking holes in the condoms?
Yes.
Oh, I actually knew, I know I had a friend of mine, a dude, and he told me about a horror story that his condom was gone in the trash the next morning. And the girl took it with him.
No.
Try to do the insertion thing. Tried to do that. Straight
Did it
up
work?
tried to do that. No, it didn't take because it was too long before she tried to do it.
Okay, I didn't know. I've just come to the realization that women are psycho. There are some psychos out
Are
there.
you just figuring that out now? Like your brother's been running these podcasts with me for like a month or two now, and
Well,
he's been doing
okay.
podcasts about this for a long ass time, and you're just coming to the conclusion that women are psycho?
I've just seen it in action, and I'm like, holy shit, I thought this was just things that like guys talked about, like exaggerating that women are psycho. Oh my god, I've seen people do some crazy shit down here. I just literally
So, like-
my ex-boyfriend was like, yeah, I got my ball sack glued to my leg one time. I was like,
Wait,
who
hold up,
the
hold up,
hell?
hold up, hold up.
We gotta
Tell this
understand
story.
We have to know how the glue got to the sack.
He was asleep and she got pissed and glued his ball sack to his leg, and he woke up and he was like, the fuck?
Yo, a woman scorned for real is bad.
Really scary.
So
100%.
here's a question, ladies. We're gonna take it up. We're gonna make it a little spicier. All right. Huds, you better be ready for another question because I'm doing the first question.
I'm ready, baby.
All right. Have you ever been in a situation where you were just like, all the rules that I have, I'm giving away for this guy right here because I want him right now. And what did that look like? And how far did it escalate?
We're gonna go story by story. Okay. And this isn't specific to Halloween. We want to know the time that you gave it up and you had a very wild night because you could not.
Yeah, we want to hear your hoish night and what took for you to just be like, fuck it, let's go. We'll start with Lil Huds. I need to hear about Lil Huds' adventures so Huds could talk to me in counseling later about his little sister.
I'm trying to think because like a lot of my ones.
Sir, come on, you've been a fucking hoe. Like what do you think
in
about?
college? Yes, everyone's right. My brother just called me a fucking hoe.
Are you into bestiality with the giraffe ears?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
BDSM, hell yeah.
Yeah. Look, she's wearing giraffe ears. I'm wearing a monkey onesie. I mean, look at this fucking thing. I haven't showed everybody this. Like Jesus Christ.
We're
I
absolutely.
don't know. Maybe there is something there. I don't know.
You look
Oh,
like
God.
Curious George.
Don't fucking put that shit in people's
I am
heads.
curious. George.
Oh my god.
I'm very curious.
I'm
All
trying
right, so
to figure.
back to you, Lil Huds. The question: what was the setting that you had your most hoish experience with the guy?
I don't know because I'm pretty like straightforward. So if I like want something, I
Yeah,
just
so
go after it.
so be straightforward right now.
Answer the question. Like, where was it? Like, the right setting? You just met this guy, or maybe you knew him for a minute, and you're like, "Fuck it, let's just."
You know what? Let's
Okay.
do this. Let's do this. I'm actually going to reverse this for a second because
Oh,
I think
God.
this may warm them up. What is the most hoish experience you have witnessed or know about from one of your friends?
I'm trying to think because story just popped
Okay,
in my
Coco, if
head
you're ready.
where
Coco looks ready.
Yeah, she looks ready. She's like, I have both stories. I could tell you both right now.
Well, I'm trying to. I mean, Penn State day long, I slept with some dude in my favorite fraternity because I was like, you're hot. I just went through a breakup. We're gonna go have sex in the middle of the party and then come back out. And then later that night, I actually took home a guy in the same fraternity that.
Oh, so
I was,
you
like,
did a two in a day. 2 in a
What?
day. You
Oh
did
yeah,
a 2
2
in
in
a
a day.
day.
Yeah,
Wow, we are fucking sluts.
DK baby, it'll get ya.
Huds are sluts. Jesus Christ, I hate you.
I hate
I
you too.
guess it's in our genes.
It is
Hud,
in our
drop the
genes.
link in the StreamYard. Drop the StreamYard link in the Telegram.
Will do.
Also,
So yeah, go back to the main question now.
the main question of the friend and I'm gonna let Coco go because maybe she'll spark some. I don't want to air out too much dirty laundry about my friends.
So regarding the friend one, I was at a house party with my friends, and this was like 10 years ago, I think. And like it was just a big bash. I went upstairs to sleep in one of the rooms because I wasn't gonna drive home. I was trashed. And so then apparently, like all of a sudden, like I wake up because I hear something because I'm a very light sleeper. And my best friend and the dude that she's hooking up with is having sex literally right next to me on the bed. And I was like, whoa, Kate, I'm right here. And she goes, no, I know. He wanted to pretend like we were having a Nikki sandwich. So like he wanted to act like make it seem like I was involved, but I actually wasn't involved. So they're just doing the thing. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is really freaking awkward. I'm gonna leave. I walked out.
That happened to me.
Sarah, tell the story. How did that happen to you?
That happened to me. Holy shit. That just sparked. I knew you were going to spark a memory. So, freshman year of college, we're at the Fontainebleau, Miami. My friend's parents had a timeshare. So, we stayed there for a week.
Boo. I wanted to talk about the story of Gabby when you were asleep on the couch. Boo. But go on with that one.
Oh, well, I'm going to get to the point that you were fucking my freshman year roommate and then cheated on her and then expected me
and you were asleep on the couch. And you were asleep on the couch.
Wait a minute, you banged some chick next to your sister asleep on the couch?
Correct. Yeah. I was blacked out asleep.
Hold on, you haven't done that?
Not my sister is so young. Fuck no.
Freshman year roommate too ruined the relationship between me and her. And then Alex proceeded to cheat on her and then expected me to help him apologize to her. And I was like, he sent an insomnia cake to our to our dorm room. It was awful. But back to the Fontainebleau. So my friend had brought some guy.
Friend. Got it.
Yeah, we're not friends anymore.
No.
Brought some
friend, not little HUDs, but it's a friend.
Well, no, because I was in the bed next to her, or I was like in the bed with her while she was. It was so bad.
Wait, hold on. Is this getting super fucking spicy?
Hey, you know what, Danny? I know we don't have a super chat, but you know what? Go ahead and drop your question and statement, and we will bring it up and say something. Okay, or if you have a question, we'll ask it. But yeah, just don't worry about us not having super chats. Just throw in the questions or the statement, and we will bring it up on the screen. we know you will give us a super chat, but let's get back to the real question, ladies.
So go on, Sarah. Go ahead.
So she brings a guy up to the room, and we had 2 beds and 6 girls in the room. Oh God, there was another story that just popped in my head. But me and one girl were sleeping in the bed. She brings another guy in. And the third girl that was sleeping in the bed was fucking the dude while me and the other girl were spooning the other way. We both were awake and heard it. And we were like, what the fuck are you doing right now? It was the most awkward situation in the world. But we let her finish.
Why didn't you say anything though?
What?
You just waited till he finished? You're just like, okay, 7 minutes. Hurry up. 7 minutes.
I mean, he ate her out.
Did you guys fist bump? Did you guys fist bump afterwards?
I woke up the next morning and I was like, I swear to God, you bring him back here and do that. I needed my sleep. And I did not get my sleep. But we were getting served when we were underage at the Fontainebleau. Shout out.
All right, shout out to Fontainebleau, Miami.
Fontainebleau, apparently. That's the place to go if you want that underage drink. All right, so let's bring it back to you though. Has there ever been a situation where you met a guy and you were like, you know what? The rules do not apply to this one. Like, I'm going to give it to him 7 ways to Sunday. I'm going to be the dirtiest little whore that I know.
My ex-boyfriend.
Okay, what about him brought that out of you?
I mean, he was like very respectful. He didn't want to have sex on the first date. He was like very polite. Yes, Alex, we did not have sex on the first date. He was very polite.
Some type of prude? Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I mean, think back to Gabby. We didn't have sex on the first date. We had sex on the first night we met. Jesus. Whatever.
Well, I made out with him the first. Oh wait, no, couldn't do that. I was hammered. I did make out with him the first time that we hung out, but no, he was just really polite. He
Looks
was
like we have Wolverine in the building.
Let's let Sarah finish this.
Yeah,
and then
Sarah,
let's pull him
please
up.
finish. Then we'll bring up Wolverine.
yeah. So he just was like the perfect gentleman, and I was like, "Fuck it, you can have whatever you want." And yeah, the rest is history.
Was that the butt or?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay. I learned more about you today. Cool.
All right, Coco, what about you?
I don't want to boast or brag, but it's not ladylike. And it's not because he's my fiance, but the person I broke the rules for was Glenn. Because I don't have sex with people that I'm not dating. I'm very adamant about that. I'm an old lady and I have never gotten an STD, and I work very hard to stay clean. Plus, I know in the manosphere they say, like, if a woman says that her bits and pieces are special, they're not. Well, they are, because mine are fucking magical. You can ask him. They're magical. I can do things that nobody else can. I'm a porn star without actually being a porn star. So, we weren't dating yet. We were just talking and hanging out. And, you know, it was very cute. I don't know if it was game, but I'm really sure it was genuine. But like, all he had to say to me was like one comment, because we were sitting outside the gym getting ready to go in, because there's two parts to this. So he looks at me and he's like, I really just want to kiss you. But he knows that I don't like to be touched. I don't like to be touched if it's unwarranted. He knows I have a thing about people touching me, unless I know them and I'm close. And so he asked me, he's like, you know, I really want to kiss you. And I was like, uh-huh. And then he's like, is that okay? Like, can I kiss you? He's like, I know that's not romantic, but I know. And I'm like, uh-huh, just kiss me. So he kissed me. And then all of a sudden, we literally just dragged ourselves into the gym bathroom and like shagged the shit out of each other. And then I was the only guy that broke the rules for, where I wasn't with him. And then several months later, I wanted to surprise him. And we went to a hotel to kind of like get away. And he went out to go make a phone call, and I came back and I literally prepped myself. And when he walked in the door, and I was like, Daddy, can you please just take my ass? And that was the first time I let him take my butt.
Okay, you just fucking 7-upped me on that fucking story.
The hell's going on right now?
Hey, and
I just want to say welcome to Mr. Logan.
look at Logan.
And he took you in the butt. Good thing he didn't have his spurs on, huh?
This is a little bit better than my monkey onesie.
You think so, huh?
Just
So,
a
Who says I
little.
have a costume? Let me do my eyes just right. Make sure you get the eyes in here. Logan has blue eyes, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good.
Logan, so we're talking about Halloween and women dressing like hoes, and we're getting our conversation a little escalated with the guy they broke the rules for. You know, now would you ladies say like the guy that you broke the rules for was your best?
Nah,
And by
I could do
best,
better.
we mean the best
Experience thus far.
Yeah, like the best sexual experience.
Definitely best sexual experience thus far. I think we had a lot more exploring, and I have a lot more freakiness to give, but you know, his loss.
I thought it was great. I mean, yes, because
Wait, no, hold up. Let's back that up for a second. How long did you date him?
A year and a half.
And you still had more freakiness to give?
Yeah.
Oh, then he
100%.
wasn't your best.
Exactly.
Well,
He
was
wasn't
my
your
Girls
best.
always have a
You
little
said
more
best-
freakiness to get.
best
you know.
yet. You didn't say best, like, there's gonna be
But-
better.
Well, no, best that you've ever experienced. So therefore, he is your best as of now.
As of now, yeah.
Okay,
And if
you
he
didn't
was your
give-
best, wouldn't you give him the most?
That is fair. But I'm also a little conservative, so I got to get comfortable with the person in order for me to do that. So,
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to Coco.
You can't use the Hail Mary all at once up front, you know, Huds, right? Little HUD, you just can't pull it out then. You got to save it in reserve
Exactly.
for when it goes
You
into
gotta keep them wanting
sudden
more.
death overtime. Then you pull it out.
No, because when you go in giving it everything that you have, it actually makes that person crave it more. Because if they're not good at something, you're not going to want it. You're not going to want to experience that and get more creative and get more freaky. Like I said, like I'm a very conservative person, but I'm a very big freak. And I was
agree.
more of a freak than, Glenn ever experienced. And I would ask him, and the reason why it was so great is because he was actually open. My ex-husband was too scared to do things with me. And I'd be like, I want you to do this. And he's like, well, I don't want to do that.
Oh, I've run into that a lot. Yeah. But a lot of girls aren't. They aren't the exception, or they're not that, that significant deviation from the norm like you, Coco. Many of them do hold back because, you got to hold a little bit back, right? Unless he's that guy
I don't
like
hold
Glenn,
back
and
at
then it's
all.
like, put it all on the table, right?
I want them to know exactly what it is that they're getting. And just so you know, there's more of this and it doesn't stop. Like there's no off button.
Wow. You just tripled your IG followers right there, Coco.
At least you gained one because I want you to be my best friend now. So
she's great. No.
So
She's an exception for sure.
The guys that are now your best, right? And I'm going to tie this into a little bit of a prelude of this weekend show where we talk about alpha widows. So in a way that these guys that are your best, they're probably your alpha widow by them, or to an extent, like they are the standard bearer for you. If for whatever worst case scenario, something never happens, those guys are the standard bearer in your life. Like they hold the standard sexually to you. Like anybody else that comes around, if they don't meet that standard, you're not even going to give them.
If he doesn't fuck you in the gym bathroom after you guys just met,
then you ditch him.
There is nothing
first he has to be
when the
taking your
time is
body
right.
fat measurements. That's, we tried to keep it casual. We kissed and got all hot and heavy, and he's like, okay, let's go take your measurements. And then the minute I had to pull down my pants, things just went out of control. So yes, like if
what happened? What happened? What happened when your pants came down?
You bit my butt.
He went to his knees.
Yeah, get out of here. He did not get to his knees.
No, he bit my butt, and then literally he just ripped my panties off and just bull thrusted that thing in there. I didn't even know what was happening, but I just was like, okay, we're doing this.
That sounds like one of the guys I had sex with in college.
Where is he now?
You know who it is, and it's someone who caused a rift in me and yours relationship.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with him these days.
Alpha widow.
He used to be fucking alpha, but I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
Bit my butt. I had some bruises on there.
I guess I got to bite butts from now on. I don't know.
Hey, you got to take a bite out of crime. So, ladies, like, here's a question though. Like, when that guy gets you going like that, right? And Coco, you alluded to this. You said there's no off switch.
I'm a diagnosed nymphomaniac. Like I don't have an off switch.
Okay, so maybe you're exception to the rule. Sarah, do you have an off switch when the guy gets like he's the best you've ever had? It's like he goes, "Hey, let's go." You're like, "Yes, please."
You're like, absolutely, like fucking yesterday. So I would say if they're getting you going and it's the best you've ever had, there's no way you're saying no to that. 100%.
Once you get to a certain point, and women, please correct me if I'm wrong. Once you rev up the engine enough, there isn't really an off switch.
True. There is
we got
only
Phil
an
Foster
off
in the
switch.
house. Shout out to Phil Foster. Sorry.
I do know that I do have one off switch though. So I don't know if this is severely inappropriate, so sorry. But
Go for it, doesn't matter.
If like let's say we're having oral play, when it gets to the point where it's just too much and my bean is just way too sensitive, I need a break and let's do something else. That's the only off switch that I have.
Slow down.
That's what the butthole's for.
Yeah, sure, exactly. But I'm just saying that's the only time I say that there's an off is because, like, okay, I need to take a break from that. I need to take a break from that. But everything else is fine. Like, I don't need a break. I will. I always said that I want to. The way that I want to go is I want to go having sex and just hope to God my heart gives out.
So here's the
Oh my
question.
God, I
like,
love you. I love you.
where is the most wildest place you had sex? Coco, you said the gym. Has there ever been any other wildest place besides the gym or anywhere else that where you're like, we're getting it on?
Yeah, we when we had those people that pulled up to watch the show, we were outside in the truck and just all of a sudden just had to go to town. Like the truck was literally shaking.
You
And
had to. You had to go to town.
The urge was there. They needed to.
had to go to town, and literally we were shaking so much that somebody saw our truck and then literally pulled in, and like our truck was facing the street. They pulled in and faced and put it towards the window. You could totally see me naked, but I was just like, there's a car there. And he's like, do you want to stop? And I was like, no, they can watch. And then I just kept going because there was no way I was gonna stop. So like that
Unless
was
it's a cop car. Keep
well,
it the fuck
actually, we did get
going.
caught by the cops. We did. He took me to a very romantic place by the water, set up this whole blow up bed in the back bed of the truck, and we were looking up at the stars. And he looked like a giant Greek god when he was prepping, and I was just like, oh my God, that actually just came out of my mouth. I was like, you look like a Greek god. Oh my God, this is mine. And then like all of a sudden, there's a cop that shows up, and we're both naked. So we got caught by the cops.
It's okay. I got ripped out of a concert in high school because I was giving someone head on the lawn. So
You always want your sister to say that live on air, right?
So wait a
mom
minute,
and dad know about it, so
so
we
wait a minute,
good.
you decided you're in high school at a concert, and was he your boyfriend or just some guy that you're like, I'm gonna suck your dick?
Me and my friend did it next to each other with two different guys.
So was
I
that
had the
a
better
date?
one,
You
though.
have to do it in high school. Understand?
Was it a dare? What is like, let's just suck some random guy's dicks?
Yeah, 100%. Trash.
Laurent,
Oh,
you're
Laurent
cracking
says
me
the
up.
weirdest sex was in a Buddhist temple at a funeral of her father, literally separated by a paper window. Laurent, you're a freak, bro.
Laurent is a fucking legend.
He is a legend.
Thor, what would you say? Like, have you done any public stuff?
Oh my God. Where do you
Okay.
want me to begin?
Never mind. That shouldn't. I forgot who I was talking.
Let me
to.
do the mildest one.
Okay.
So I was a bit younger, and I went on a trip with a girlfriend with her family. They had a nice, beautiful boat, and we went to Lake Havasu. And they had a little cuddy cabin down below in the boat. Yeah, she was all of what, 19? Just turned 19. Was a few years older. But I did have sex with her in the cuddy cabin while her parents were driving the boat. So that's not too bad, right? At least it was a private.
No,
area.
that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. I've had sex in like with the parents next door, like in the room next door.
Yeah.
Let's
And
keep
with the waves
playing.
bouncing, you never could hear anything, right?
Let's keep playing on this because I'm going to give one, and I want Glenn, you to go next. So start thinking about it. So one of mine that I actually love, this from a couple of years ago. We did a corn maze. So Sarah, you know, oh God, I always forget the name.
Shady Brook.
Yeah.
Or Sleep Hollow.
Yep. Shady Brook. So we were doing Shady Brook, and we did the corn maze, and there's dead ends in the corn maze. So we went through that, and we got to one of the dead ends, and it had a fake outhouse. And she was super nervous, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna fuck you behind this. And I just pulled her behind it. We started going at it, and then we just had kids coming around the corner, and we had to quickly pull up her pants to get out of it, because that would have been one awkward situation, and I'm pretty sure that is sex offender territory.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will say publicly, some of the maybe milder stuff was, you ever been to a really nice concert in the dark balcony and mini skirts? They're wonderful things, especially when there's a crowd. Oh, look at Coco smile. Have you been to a concert? It's very dark with a mini skirt, it's kind of a nice thing, nice situation to enjoy when there are no rules. Now that's a specific circumstance for public, but
So here's a question.
No, Glenn.
What?
I'd
You
love
You're
him to
not getting
talk
out of
to you.
this. We want to hear yours.
Why
Yeah.
what?
What was the question, Glenn? What are the
It's
most
our craziest
risque
story.
things you've done in public?
It's okay. You could share it even if it's not with me, even though I doubt it.
Risque, like non-sex?
Non-sex or sex?
No, sex.
Okay, well, I fucked at work. Fuck Coco at work. I fucked
No,
Coco
we're not
in a
talking.
church
Let's
parking
get
lot.
a story that's not Coco.
Oh, if we're talking work,
Okay,
getting paid double time and having sex, pretty good.
Let's see. I fucked this one chick back when I was in the military. In her dorm room, in the hallway, because she couldn't get into her dorm room. She locked her dorm room out. She got locked out of her dorm room. She couldn't find her keys. And my dorm room was way across the base. And she wanted to go at it right there. So we did it in the stairwell.
Did you have like a laundry room? Because I know I didn't personally fuck in the laundry room of a dorm, but I know someone who lost his virginity in a laundry room of a dorm.
Oh my
Are
god!
you had sex in the
saying
laundry room?
somebody that we know may have lost their virginity in the laundry room?
It was a he.
Oh,
It was a he?
It was a he, and he videotaped it.
to get his
He's
head
not-
stuck in
he's
the
not the husband, is
dryer?
It's
No,
not.
I got one for you guys before I forget it. I totally forgot about this story. I've never told this to you guys. So I was in the honors college at school, and in the basement we had soundproof rooms. One of them had a grand piano in it, and the other one was just for pure recording if you needed to do something for class. And I banged a girl in one of those rooms in the soundproof, not the grand piano room, but we literally had a guy who was playing the piano while I banged her in the other soundproof room.
So why didn't you let me know you had these soundproof rooms?
You never asked.
But that's something you share.
You never asked.
Fine, whatever.
Glenn, what was your next question for everybody?
So the next question is, and this is from Logan. All right. I'm gonna ask it for him. He says, ask the girls if Halloween is an excuse to let the inner slut loose in public. Is that a thing that ladies do?
We always spoke about that earlier. Like how women don't want to dress like that. Well, if the women were to dress like that in public, they would get severely judged. So if they dress like that on Halloween, it gives them an excuse to be like, I'm not a hoe, it's just my costume. And then it gives them an excuse to be that way or to dress that way without them being judged or being labeled as a hoe, even though they may be a hoe on the regular.
It would probably feel pretty freeing to you as well.
But does that lead to hoish activities? Like is dressing like that in public, releasing that inner slut, makes women more inclined to do something that they probably wouldn't do if it wasn't Halloween in that setting?
So I'm going to throw it back at you with this one because I saw a TikTok that it was like some girl and she was like, the only Halloween I went home with a guy and it was like her ugliest costume, like completely covered up, makeup. I think it was like a Joker costume. So I don't know if it's just Halloween that makes people hoes or if it's the costumes.
Well, hold on.
Wasn't there an element of role play though?
Yeah, I mean, isn't there an element of role play when you guys are in the costume? If you're dressed up as a sexy nurse, are you going to be seductive? Your behavior is going to be a little more sexual in nature when you're around people. So therefore, you're kind of letting that inner hoe out, right? You're probably flirting a little bit more than you probably usually would because you're in this setting that you're this sexy nurse, right?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, why would you be a sexy, cowardly lion if you weren't trying to get banged?
So does that mean, like, when depending on the outfit or the costume, kind of does that kind of push the idea of your level of sluttiness that you're going to let out that night? Could that be a good gauge? Like, if a woman is dressed very revealing and she's being very seductive, could that be a good gauge? Like, hey, she might take a couple dicks tonight, or at least one. She's getting one. Like, is that a good gauge to say that, like, hey, if she's dressed that certain way and she's in that element, that she's looking for something?
I would say that it's a pretty fair guess. I mean, because it is based on the costume. So like I could get a onesie, a skin tight zip up onesie that makes me look like a skeleton, but it's very form fitting and you can see all of my curves and complemental features. But if I were to show up in a skeleton, but it's all body paint, what do you think that impression is actually trying to say?
That skeleton's getting fucked tonight.
That you like to be naked. That's what it is.
But I do.
That's cool.
All right. Coco is now my best friend.
So let me ask you. Let's ask a new question on this, and it's a spinoff of this. So, what costumes do you typically see? And Sarah, we'll start with you. Lil Huds. What
Lil Hud's in the
costumes?
building.
What costumes do you typically see your friends wear on Halloween?
I would say it's like a sexy witch because that's really easy to make sexy. Wear black with your tits out and like wear a hat. Literally, they try to take the easy way out. Witch, schoolgirl, which we know all the porn sites, it's role play. So yes, they're probably just like trying to take the easy way out, but also bring out their inner slut. So schoolgirl, witch, cat that they can just like paint some whiskers on.
Dude, the fucking cat, I swear to God. That was all college.
Like literally, I'm wearing giraffe ears because it's so easy and I could go out and just like brown
Nobody wants to
outfit.
fuck a giraffe, but go on.
Challenge accepted. But yeah, it's a bunch of basic shit. Like no one really, not a
Look at
lot
her
of people
throat,
put a
though.
lot of thought into their costumes nowadays.
Okay, so they just dress like whatever. So Coco, what like because the question really was, what are the sluttiest costumes that you see your friends dress up in? So Coco, what do you see?
I've seen I've seen the dirty nuns where literally they're just wearing pasties. And then
Yeah,
the
that's
collar
badass.
goes
Tell me what bar that's at.
No, this was at my friend's house party.
Wait, hold up. Where do you
I
guys
would go
live?
I would throw amazing parties. I'd have house parties for Halloween like all the time and Christmas parties. But so it was at a house party for Halloween and it was just the black pasties and then it had like it's like a little onesie like type cut off like you're supposed to wear a shirt with it, but it's black and it's a short skirt and like you could totally see her underwear through it. She had fishnet stockings on and then she had a little like nun cap. Like that was I thought that was actually pretty excessive and I was just like okay. So things like that
You want to go confess your sins to her, don't you?
me no like I didn't
No.
I mean I made a joke
I just
about
like
it.
the idea. I like the idea of this house party because I'm supposed to be going to a house party tomorrow. I wonder if anybody's going to wear pasties as a nun.
I simply have never seen. I know the skeleton face painting. It's like the Day of the Dead.
Okay, yeah, no, dead ass. That's every guy kind of turns away from that. I know I did.
Well, you're not every guy.
But I know in generalities, guys really are not about it.
All right,
Now,
Glenn
here's
and
another
Logan.
question. Here's a question. If a girl dressed up as a sexy schoolgirl, right? Does that mean she has a thing for the whole
Principles.
principal teacher role play? Maybe she has like like, man, she had this like hot teacher or hot professor, and she's like dressing up as a sexy schoolgirl. Like, is there any like hidden messages behind the costume? Like, is it maybe, could it be the costume could be part of a fantasy that these girls have, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna dress this way, although I'm not gonna act on it, but man, it is a fantasy of mine to be this sexy schoolgirl and have this principal or teacher just take me.
I got answers for it, but I want the women to say everything first. Sarah, go ahead.
I would say absolutely. They either have daddy issues, or they're into older men, or they're afraid to bring up that like role play. They've never been in that situation where they could bring up like, hey, I want to role play. So they're just kind of assuming if they dress up like that, maybe a guy will be like, let's role play. So maybe they're like too nervous to bring it up.
Coco,
Yo,
what about you?
That's
What do you
actually
think?
base as fuck. I want to talk about that in a second. Go ahead, Coco.
No, I agree. And one, hi, Simply Deep. He said hi to me a long time ago, but I forgot to say something. So, I agree. I think for some people, because as we said earlier, some people don't really get to, like, if they have to dress more conservatively and they're like, I wait for Halloween because that's my one time to hoe it out, then they may be like, ooh, maybe I can actually dress up as something that I've always had a fantasy about, but maybe they're too shy to ask somebody. Maybe they don't have as much opportunity. So then they possibly wear something, because how many times do you actually go somewhere and like men will actually make a comment that's kind of like joking about your costume, that's like in a role play setting. So the likelihood of a man maybe making an advance to her about her, like, oh, you're a nurse, huh? You want to play doctor and nurse, or patient and nurse? And then she'd be like, heck yeah. So it probably gives her the opportunity to explore something that maybe she secretly wants to do. Like, just some people that dress up in furry costumes because for some reason they have a furry fetish, but to each their own.
And
I have a thing for
Role play is
librarians.
very powerful, very, very powerful.
I have a
Very
thing for
powerful
librarians. Let me just say that.
Thor, do you want to talk a little bit about
Hmm?
that?
About what? Oh, the questions I just asked in the chat.
Well, no, like costumes and things like that, and like what Coco was just saying. If you want to expand on like costumes and whatnot.
Yeah, role play is a very important thing. I mean, your subconscious, the way you dress, it's a very, very important thing. I think that the opportunity that a lot of ladies take in Halloween is that opportunity. They might be, putting on society's front as a good girl, and then they have an opportunity with their gals and their friends to go to a party and kind of cut loose a little alcohol, little cut loose. Heck, role play is extremely exciting because there's a little bit of unknown to it, a little bit of rebellion to society. And that's why these conventions go on, that they role play. And it's an interesting thing to watch too. What do they call it nowadays? Cosplay, right? Yeah, they call it cosplay. And that's pretty interesting. I've been to some raves where they're kind of cosplay in some ways, the outfits. And I'll tell you this, that combined with that atmosphere does let some people cut loose quite a bit, and it's quite enjoyable to watch. And who knows what kind of life they live outside of that. But I did have a question for the ladies, just as something fun. What kind of costumes do you find attractive in a man when you go out to Halloween? Would it be a onesie, or would it be a toga? Would it be a clown outfit? Most men are seen as clowns anyway. Or would it be a uniform? How about a Spartan costume where it only has a loincloth? Let me hear from you two ladies. What costumes do you like? How about a superhero?
I definitely go with gladiator. I definitely go with a gladiator one, because when you were talking about costumes, like, ooh, a gladiator, like just the helmet, like 300 status, and then just a skirt kind of thing, because then you can see all of this business and all of this business, and then their nice little legs and stuff. Like, I think that's very attractive.
Yeah.
I think a guy that kind of has a costume that shows like some kind of authority, I guess.
Uniform.
Yes, like some kind of uniform, but it can't be like the baggy kind of uniform. It needs to be like a form-fitting, like the tight shirt with kind of the sleeves kind of cuffed, like the 50s where they stuck their cigarette pack in it.
Oh,
and like
okay.
those kinds of things, and a tight belt with some, whatever jeans they're like, whether it's military or a police officer, or, I mean, if a guy showed up in an aged outfit and it was like, aged, like colonial times where it was a 3-piece suit that was form fitting, done.
When you say that, you mean an aged suit, something kind of mafia style, mafioso, but very high end,
Yes, like
pinstripey.
just what they would wear when everybody in like 1800s and early 1900s always wore a 3-piece suit. Suspenders do it for me. So like suspenders, a vest, some slacks, and like a jacket and a top hat or something, and a cane to beat you with. Like, oh my God,
So what
somebody.
about you, little Hud? Something like a Doc Holliday suit where he's got the
I
three
would-
pieces and he's got the suspenders going, possibly several hidden weapons, and he'll be your Huckleberry.
Exactly. And what I'm thinking now is a lot of people dress up like Peaky Blinders. I don't know if you guys have seen Peaky Blinders, but it's basically like set in old times England, and it's
I think
3-piece
the 1700s, I think.
Yeah,
Or
something like
1800s.
that.
Yeah.
And 3-piece suits. They got their little like watch thingy, and they got their little hats on. Fuck me up, fam.
All right, I got a question.
What about faces, guys? Because this is common, What about when they cover their face? Is it okay with the gladiator helmet that just shows the mouth and below and the eyes peering out? What do you guys like? Do you, because I see some guys wearing masks, right?
I'm a teeth person,
A teeth.
so
Okay, so
as long as I see teeth and eyes, as long as they're not fucked up, then we good.
the eyes are fucked up.
Yeah,
You can't be cross-eyed.
Lazy eye.
What are you talking about?
Missing an eye.
Wait, how many guys have you met that are missing eyes?
I
Do
mean,
you ever like want to just like hit him in the side of the head and hopefully the eye just like goes
just
back?
pops back?
It comes
Yeah.
back.
Look at me.
I used to work with a dude who was cross-eyed, and I like it took me a
Genetic
while to,
selection,
like,
right
look at
there,
You're like,
gentlemen.
which one of you are looking at me?
right. I was like, what's happening?
You got to choose the good genes, but so you essentially. What about those? What about those masks that you have, like that just masquerade masks? Those
Or like
do it for
the
you guys
Phantom
too?
of the Opera.
Yeah, does that work too, or does it depend on the rest of the costume?
I'd say it depends on the rest of the costume.
So I was with a girl in the past, and this is kind of where I think some of the question is leading to. I was with a girl in the past where she was into wearing like a fully captured suit. So not even like, hiding the face, but also hiding the body. And it's kind of like, the stranger in the dark. What do you think about something like that? Like, how much do you want to conceal from the face?
Hold up.
What?
No, I understand. How
Like completely covered?
Can be. Or I'm essentially asking how much of the person that you're with that is covered.
Yeah, how much coverage? Like, do you want a little bit of mystery? Like,
can the
kind of like,
man expose himself like the woman can? Girls, what do you prefer? Do you like the guy to be somewhat covered up when he's exposed to all the other women? Say you go with a man. I think that's what you're asking, right? If you go with a man as a couple, is that what you're asking, Huds?
Yeah, I'm essentially asking because like you can do like what level of hidden still is attractive. That's what I'm trying to understand. At least from your guys' perspective. And your guys' perspective, this is a sample size of 2. So it doesn't really mean much, but it's still interesting for people to understand.
I mean, I think our opinion means a lot, but that's just
All right.
I think, I don't know, because what if you take them home and they're like a flabby mess? Again,
exactly.
Teeth and like face are a lot to me. I can deal with the dad bod.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you, would you ever take a guy home where you couldn't see his teeth and eyes before?
No, absolutely not.
That's good. That's good. There's that genetic
Coco,
selection.
what
Now,
about you?
If he was really good, if he was really like in good shape, but was dressed as a plumber and he had a little plumber's crack going on, that's okay, right?
I mean, if he was in good shape,
body,
100%.
As long
and
as
if he had a wolf head, and refused to take it off until you
As long
Cutback
as he
is
was
what-
wearing a shirt that says Sancho's Plumbing, I lay pipe,
Yeah.
I think the ladies wouldn't have a problem with it, right?
Well, that
But
brings up a
Coco,
good point.
what
Do you
about-
like comedic costumes on men? I guess I heard
That's
from you
a
guys.
great
You actually do like
question. Let's start with Coco. That's a great question. Do you like comedic costumes on men?
Yes, because I like a guy that shows that he knows how to be funny and has a great personality. Because obviously, it also takes a lot of attention and thought to put into something that creative. Like, there are costumes where I've seen guys where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen a costume like that
So
before.
you're telling me that if I wear a Borat costume and it's just a big long thong, that works?
No, I'd actually be disgusted.
But it's funny.
If you wore it, Tuds. She's saying if you wore it, she would
No,
be
I'm
disgusted.
sorry. I think any man in that kind of outfit, I don't care how hot you are, that's just kind of disturbing. Like, I want to, and also for me, because again, like there's like women go to show this to get attention, and I'm different, but like I wouldn't want to necessarily like the modern women would totally want to get a guy like that because then she can see what he's working with. It kind of gives her, she can see what if he's got something or not something there and like what the rest of him looks like and if he's sexually appealing because you leave zero to the imagination when a guy
So
wears
you're
something.
telling me that I have to guess your sense of humor.
yes. You got to read
Well,
minds too.
but it's more just like funny crap.
You have
Like
to
when
guess,
I saw a guy
read
go with a
minds.
one night
That is
stand.
funny crap. What are you talking
You have
about?
to just know. You have to
How
just
am I
know.
supposed to know?
That
Like
you're
simple
supposed
things.
to.
It's
You gotta
basic.
read
You're supposed to just
minds.
know. If you don't know, you don't know. And you're not in the game.
Like I knew a guy that went up as a one night stand. He literally made a desk or a nightstand out of cardboard. He had a lamp. He had some money,
saw
and
that
nothing
you
else.
did it
And I was
on
like, "What
Instagram.
are you?" He's like, "I'm a one night stand," and I was like, I was rolling. That was the coolest freaking costume that I saw all night because of the actual thought and creativity that it took for that kind of costume.
Did you fuck him?
I'm gonna go in a man thong and go to the party.
Did you fuck him?
No. I didn't date him.
All right, here's a question. We're gonna get it. I'm gonna take it a little.
Well, let's
hotter.
ask Sarah. Let's ask Sarah on that. When it comes to
Okay.
humor, same type of
Well,
thing.
No, I think I agree with Coco because I think the more thought that they put in, like a guy puts into their costume, like some girls put a lot of thought into their costume. I had a coworker that literally wore a t-shirt that had a bunch of text messages on there that weren't answered, and she was ghosted. Like she dressed up as ghosted, which was fucking hilarious.
That is
But
funny.
I feel like if guys put thought into it, like the one night stand, that's hilarious. You know, he has a good sense of humor. Maybe he's not the best looking person there, but you get along with his personality. So I agree on that.
So that kind of opens up a question. So if a guy had a good personality but wasn't the hottest, you ladies will give him the time of day, right?
Correct.
Coco?
Yeah, I've done that. I've given guys the time of day and even tried dating them, and they were not who I would typically date, but they were funny and also sweet.
Okay, so then here's another question. Then I'm gonna spice it up a little bit. Let's say you meet a guy, and you guys are, here comes Thor. He's trying to get all the panties wet. All right. Let's say you meet a guy, and things are getting hot and heavy. Things are going good. Where is the part of your body that if a guy touches you, you're just like, I'm ready. Let's go right now. Because we all know Kino is a big thing for women and men. But when a woman gets touched, if she's touched in the right place, like whatever reservation she has, she discards. So where is that on your body?
I'd say grab my waist and whisper in my ear. And we're done. We out of there.
Really?
So all he has to say is like, grabs your waist and goes, I like cookies. And then you're out.
I'd be like, bitch, so do I. Let's go fuck. No, it's gotta be something cute.
He's got to use the Phil Foster voice.
Yes, use the Phil Foster voice and go
Show
like, look,
that he has the hammer.
look, let's just you, me, and nobody else around, and we go play tag naked, and I'm it.
Fuck yeah. Or you, me, and a pizza and a movie. Let's fuck.
Let's Netflix and chill. All right, Coco, what about you? Where's the part of your body that if a guy touches you, you're just like, that's it. We're done. Let's go.
Okay, but we're talking about like only men that I would be attracted to, right? Because that wouldn't work for men that I'm not. Okay, so if it's a dude, if it's a guy that I'm attracted to, I would say the same thing, like little Miss Huds over here. Definitely a whisper in the ear, like when it's just this, not like the like heavy breathing, but it's got to be like the gentle breathing, and they talk to you, and then if they slowly go down and like graze against my neck, chills everywhere, and then my whole body just starts to go like this, and then in all honesty I start to giggle, but like then it's
you
just
start to ink. Do you start to ink a little bit? We're saying inking.
I start to ink really bad. It's like my whole thing just starts to clam up, but at the same time I just like want to shred them to pieces with my fingernails and be like, oh my god, just take me. Like that's
So you hear that, guys?
Plus one.
If she's attracted to you, come up behind her, tell her you want to Netflix and chill, and eat a pizza.
I'm curious.
So did you notice the theme here, though?
Go ahead, Tori.
So here's the thing. If you're looking for a spot on their body that is most attractive, what I'm actually hearing here is it's their mind. You come in and you speak to them and tell them a story. You come in subtly, and I'm going to tell a story. I'll look at little Huds and I'll say, what an amazing giraffe costume you have there. Look at the length and the beauty of that graceful neck. I think we could use that neck. You know, that neck's gorgeous. I bet it loves to be stroked. Does it not? You know, that'd be fantastic. But you want to tell her a story and get her interested. So it seems like both of you had somebody speaking to you in your ear. Is that correct? And telling you a story. Gentlemen, this is where all sex starts. It's not
in the mind.
In the mind.
You gotta fuck her mind before you could fuck her body.
Yes, and you don't have to do it openly, but you need to escalate in some ways. You can start with something funny, something interesting, you know, and then you can paint a picture, you know, of the circumstance, and then you can talk to them. And then as you build it up slowly, I mean, you can definitely get that arousal ladder going just by speaking to them. You can't be a dork, though. You can't sit there and say, oh, yeah, the sky's blue. You want to come look at it with me? You know, I have this amazing game on my iPhone. Let's look at this game, you know. Yeah, it's got to be much more than that. You also need to regulate.
Do you want to play Pokemon Go?
Pacing of your face. Yeah, Pokemon Go.
Look, we could go get lost.
Go in and
Pokemon
out, right?
Go. I'll poke you with my mind.
It is their mind, right? I mean, that's what you guys agree?
Very, very soothing voice.
Oh, thank you, dear.
I need you to do like nighttime stories or something like that, because I feel like
my sister literally saying, Thor, please ASMR me to order.
Yes, that's what she's saying. She's like, I want to go
fall asleep.
I've done that before.
ASMR is like arousing. It just like relaxes me. I have really bad anxiety, guys. Okay.
It's really interesting because I'm actually a certified erotic hypnotist. So that it's to assist people that have issues. And part of it is using your voice and getting someone in trance. So if you can put somebody in a flow state, man or woman, you can really, you know, change their whole outlook on life, even just for that moment. They have to be willing. You have to build rapport. But if you can use your voice, so there is some voice training. Thank you, little Huds. What is your first name?
It's Sarah.
Sarah. I like that, Sarah.
Thank you. Without an H. No H on the end.
No H on the end. Just a hanging A.
Just a hanging A. And it gets confusing. We got Hudak as a last name.
Oh, A is the first letter in the alphabet. Good job. Names mean things.
Letter.
My name's Thor. I was born with that name, and I have my own hammer. Nice to meet you.
Love that.
Now, let me ask you just to spin off of what we were talking about there. So, I mean, we all understand it, at least the group right here. However, just for everybody else listening and to understand it. So, let me ask you, Coco, I'm going to go with you first. When is it acceptable for a guy to smack your ass?
Is this the guy that you're not with
Anybody.
yet?
Anybody.
Oh. Let's see. I think it's acceptable for, well, not I wouldn't say acceptable. I think it's safe for men because men have to be careful because there's so many false accusations that get thrown around out here, even though because the girl can be completely misleading, you know? And the guy's like, oh yeah. And like maybe they were like play flirting or something, but she didn't want him to touch him, but she just enjoyed the flirting. But then she bends down like in front of him to go, because she literally dropped something and then he paps her on the butt. And she's like, sexual harassment.
We're talking about being on a date.
Oh, on a date.
Yes.
I think when you guys start to get handsy, I think like once she
What
starts.
does that mean though? Because that's a very general thing to say, handsy.
Okay, so more than just like holding hands, you know, like let's say if you guys are in a movie, or anywhere you're sitting, like if you're sitting, okay, and she starts to like she strokes your arms, she strokes your chesticles, maybe she strokes your legs and your inner thigh, like that kind of stuff. And like maybe she like for some reason is just like, oh, I need my water. And then she goes and like reaches all the way across, even though she doesn't have to, on the coffee table to get her water. You know, obviously you don't want to smack her too hard because then she's going to go over it. But, you know, give her a little love tap, you know, and do like, girl, love that or something.
So you're saying that you got to wait for her to show something.
As a man, if I was a man, I would. Just because I wouldn't want to make the wrong move. And then she'd be like, oh my God, what are you doing? And then the next thing you know, I'm like, I thought that everything was okay. Like I'm saying for safety for men, like I would wait for her to be handsy first. If like, let's say we just started dating or it was our first
So you're
date.
telling me that you're saying that women need to make the first move when it comes to an in-person date.
I'm not saying the first move, like a guy can go in for a kiss if he wants to, because if a girl doesn't want it, she just does this. And then there's no harm, no foul. Okay? But I'm saying that if you guys are, let's say, sitting somewhere privately, you guys are having a Netflix and chill or something, and let's say this is maybe you had a first date in public and now you're doing one privately, I would wait for her to get way handsy. Like a guy can get handsy, like he can stroke her hair or rub her arm, maybe try brushing his fingers, like caressing it down her leg and see how she takes it. And if she doesn't flinch from you, keep going. And then she's going to reciprocate that. Like if she's feeling it and she's getting hot and heavy, she can't help but keep her hands off of you too. And then from there, it's like no holds barred. Just go ahead. If you want to smack her ass, you want to grab a titty, go for it. Because at that point, she's probably not going to care.
Now let me ask you,
a
Sarah.
titty. You heard that, guys? When she reaches for it, grab a titty. Just shake them.
No, grab a chesticle. A chesticle.
No,
It's a
guys
chesticle.
have chesticles. Girls have titties.
But I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, Sarah. What do you think? Based on this.
I think it depends on the setting. I completely agree. Like nowadays, there's false accusations, everything like that. I would be afraid as a man. Like read the room, like read the situation. If she's feeling it, go for it a little bit, test the waters, like pet the thigh, you know, like put an arm around.
This is
great thigh here. But like test the waters, and if she's not feeling it, read the fucking room. If she's like kind of pulling away and feeling a little uncomfortable, absolutely not. If she literally shakes her booty, tap it on the ass.
No, but
I've done that a couple times.
Let's go back to that. You said read the room. What does that mean? How do you do that?
I mean, like as you're testing the waters, like see if she's okay with you like getting closer to her, you know, rubbing her arm, something like that. If you feel her kind of pull away or like
So I should just walk up to her and
It's all
No,
body
I mean,
language.
if you're
Reading the
hanging
room is all
out-
body language. That's what it is. Like you have to
Yeah.
get the person's energy. Like you could tell by their facial expressions if they're kind of closed off, if they feel super chill and relaxed. Like it's all body language. Like that's how
Yeah.
you could tell by reading the room. You can feel when
So
the
it's all
force is off.
sub-communication. It's all the sub-communication.
Yeah.
It's not
And
what's
This is
being
literally
said, it's
this
what's
is
being shown.
literally this is literally what I coach on, and that's why we're opening up this show, and we want to have conversations with women about it because we want to get more understanding for guys to get it.
Well, like I've had guys like sit next to me at like when we're out at a bar and like try to have a conversation and trying to kind of test the waters there, and I kind of pull back. I've had guys like just not get it.
They
And
lean in when
Yeah,
you're
they
leaning
lean
away.
in and they want to be aggressive, and it's like it's such a turnoff because maybe that girl, and Coco, you said you don't like physical touch unless you know that person and like are comfortable. Maybe that person's that way, and maybe you guys would have a connection, but you're being too aggressive and too forward with it that you would never know, and then they feel uncomfortable.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that would be a fact. If somebody's too aggressive, but if they escalate at the right pacing to show that dominant masculine presence, that presence in and of itself can be quite arousing. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. And then guys could even do it in a safe way. It's still sensual, like Thor says. Like almost, you don't have to necessarily tell a story, but you can make comments or passes up the woman that you're with. You'd be like, "You look really delicious. Those lips look really delicious. I really, really feel like kissing them." And then she'd be like, "Oh, do you now?" And then like she may want to go in for a kiss. You could say these kinds of things that are playful and then gauge where she's actually at with it. Be like, "You have the sexiest legs." Like you stroke her legs. You have like the sexiest legs. I really wish that I could just be in between these thighs right now. And she'd be like, "Hold on." And then she just starts taking off her pants if she wants it. Like these are things that men can subtly say in a very sensual voice and see if she's like,
You're like halfway there. You're like halfway there, but
Glenn,
yeah.
she's quite vocal, isn't she?
Oh, yes. I'll tell you a story. So
I have somebody exactly like that. That's very, very vocal. It's
I had this
wonderful.
apartment right above my old barber shop, and beneath it was the old barber shop and a secondhand like consignment store. She's so fucking loud that the people that lived underneath me moved their business across town because all they could hear is her saying, "Oh my God, Daddy," and just it was hilarious. It was, hey, I loved it. I mean, don't be quiet around me, but it was hilarious. She's so loud that she made a business move. Let me just say that she's so loud she made a business move.
Well fucking done.
Well, and I'm just very talkative. I say a lot of things, and they don't want the things that I'm saying their customers to hear downstairs because it's very inappropriate.
However, you're communicating with your significant other. Like, communication is key.
Yeah, like it
Working
kind of
around
lets
her.
them know that they're either doing something right or they're not doing something right.
Glenn, how do you
know?
get any work done around her? She's quite distracting, isn't she?
She's very distracting in all the right ways.
Yeah.
All I see is just titties.
Well, I mean,
Cleavage
so
and titties.
that was
It is.
I was told to wear this. I was a good girl.
that's right.
Yeah, they're all right.
Listen, I was like, bring the girls out tonight.
Actually, your lips look really nice.
Thank you. They're all natural. They're Costa Rican.
Yes, I can see that.
Wait, you bought them in
very
Costa
that
Rica?
very hot blood in there. I'm sure.
Oh, there's some spiciness. Definitely some
Yeah.
spiciness.
Guys, I get it. My tits aren't as good as hers. My God.
Oh, girl.
Bring the camera down.
There is no
can't
such
see
thing
them
as
yet,
bad
so just
titties. Can
put
I
it
tell you
down.
that, Sarah? There's no such thing as bad titties.
That's true. That's actually really fucking true.
There is
I
no
think
such
so.
thing.
I mean, if someone's as flat as a board and it's just nip, you don't really have anything to play with or suck. So it'd be like if you were playing with the dude's chest.
With chesticles?
It would be like if you're playing with chesticles. If the poor thing was actually flat chested and just had nippies, then there's nothing to this and there's nothing to that, and there's so then you can't.
girl.
Well,
girl.
let me ask
I have
you.
a
When
whole
you
bag of
like
tricks.
that.
You can do a lot.
What do you
It
think
doesn't
about?
really matter.
What do you think about nipple to breast ratio?
You mean
What
if they're
should that
3
be
inches
at? Like
long?
90% nipple, 10% breast?
Are you talking about like pepperoni and salami sizes or
I'm
something?
just fucking around right now.
Here's a question.
That's funny.
And then we're gonna get ready to wrap it up because we're hitting the hour and a half, and I have another meeting I have to be in and Zoom. So
Before you ask this question, can I
Yeah.
just say to my brother, pancake nipples, and see if you remember that?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I'll text you later about it.
Sounds good.
all right, so here's the
I want to
question.
know.
HUDs, you're gonna have to share with us in the chat, in the group text. What's this pancake nipple story?
Go ahead with your question.
Here's the question. So costumes bring a role play out in you for Halloween, right? Halloween. Now, is Halloween the only time you ladies feel like you're free to dress slutty? Like for a holiday? Like, is there any other holidays that you feel like dressing like a slut is a good or appropriate or fun?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve?
That's the only other one I could think of.
But it's super classy. That's the thing, is that everybody dresses super classy on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, but they're still bringing their titties out and wearing short skirts.
Stop talking about Coco that way.
Yeah. She hasn't had a nip slip yet, so she's doing good.
I agree. I think New Year's Eve, but I think that some people, if you're not going to a big family event, I would say possibly maybe even Christmas, because people can get really dolled up or even wear like those really tight form fitting like little sexy candy cane outfits type stuff or whatever. Or you could wear a low cut, maybe something like this top low, but then you can wear like a red silk dress or something that really hugs all the right places with a slit that goes up to your thigh. Like, you could be classy, but also still very much sexualizing yourself on Christmas if you do it right.
Yeah, she want to be that Santa baby.
I'd agree with that. We actually have like a couple events around DC that are around the holidays, like kind of Christmas / all the other holidays, and we get like dolled up for it, and people dress as slutty as they want.
It's like SantaCon, and then you've got it for St. Patrick's Day, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So, like, not even Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day is not a day for, like, sluts?
No, you got to stay home with your hubby.
No, actually, one of our local bars does like a singles Valentine's Day night, and so I assume that a lot of people dress slutty. We'll let you know this year because I will be single this year, so I will report back.
She's like, I may or may not be one of those sluts.
That's me.
All right, let's wrap it up. Let's start with the O Father, Thor. What you got going on, man? Tell us where we can find you.
You can find me at becomedurable.com right here. And you see where my blades are pointing? It's Thor at becomedurable.com, where I can give you that soothing voice like Phil Foster. And then for everything else, you can find me on the Dragon Ship on Saturdays with these Drakars of mine, which means dragons. And by the way, Dragon Glenn and Dragon HUDs, I'm getting rockers made for us that says Drakars. So that's part of the Dragon Ship. As you know, I am a god amongst men, my sergeant at arms, and our vice president here. So we'll see you on the Dragon Ship. And ladies, you look so lovely tonight. I'm proud to wear this costume in front of you. It makes my blades very stiff to see you tonight and sharp. I'll see you next time.
You're muted. Glenn, you want me to go?
Oh, so Sarah, do you have an Instagram, Sarah, where anybody can find you and follow you, ask you where's that bar at?
Hell yeah. It's It's in Arlington, Virginia, so meet me there. But
what's your handle? I'll change your name right now for you.
my handle is at Sarah Hudok, just my full name. And
All right.
follow
There we
me
go.
for some great content.
What? All right, Coco, or AKA Boobs. Boobs for the night. Well, you've been called Boobs your whole life, so.
Boobs McGee. They're fantastic.
Yes,
Where
they
can
are.
we find you, Boobies?
I was gonna say everybody in high school just called me Tits. They didn't even actually know my name. They just called it, "Who's Nikki?" You know, Tits. Oh yeah, Tits. And they were covered. You can catch my YouTube channel, content coming soon at Pillow Talk with Coco, and then I'm on Instagram with Coco Bae BAE.be.fit.
Awesome. And you're going to be having some pillow talk conversation? That's some pretty sexual stories. Pillow talking.
Yeah, it's just I'm gonna be doing shorts first until I get my studio set up, and then I will dabble into having some longer length. I have one up there already, but I'm gonna be making some shorts, putting some shorts about how to make women get back to being real women again and desirable for the type of men that they actually want to capture and have for themselves in their lives, that they can compliment the man compliments the woman. So I'm trying to change this whole hoe activity that's going on everywhere. But I'm only one person.
All right. And then HUDs, the HUDsmen.
All I have to say is that I'm very disappointed that you guys, it was only me, Sarah, and Thor that dressed up tonight. I don't know what you guys were going on about, because this is fucking hilarious and it's fun. And I hope that you enjoy Halloween as much as we do. But this was absolutely fantastic. I love this. This is the very first episode of Thirsty Thursdays that we're going to be doing. And so what we're going to do is every Tuesdays is going to be an episode on teaching you guys like how to be better men. And then Thursdays is bringing in that other side, bringing in the women, getting their perspective and understanding what's going on so that we can build better relationships. And I'm just so excited for everything else that we got going on. I'll leave it to you, Glenn.
All right. And you can find me here on my channel, or you can find me on the Dragon Ship with our General Thor. I'm the Master at Arms, the Blaster of Arms, and with the HUDsman, of course. But you know what, guys? We want to know what topics you guys want for Thirsty Thursdays. Those are in the chat. Leave a comment. Those that watch it on the replay, leave a comment. What thirsty conversations do you want us to have with the ladies? What questions do you want us to ask the ladies? And we will ask them for you and get the answers that you're looking for to the questions that you have. So until then, until next time, yo, yo, yo.
Yo,
We're
yo,
out.
yo.
HUDs, take us out.
With what? A yo-yo-yo?
Yeah, yo, yo, yo.
Yo-yo-yo.
Yo,
All right.
yo, yo.
See you guys.
Laters.